You ever notice how politicians talk about honesty like it's a collectible item? Like some rare Pokemon card nobody's ever actually seen? They love to promise honesty, they just never practice it. Political honesty is like Bigfoot. Blurry photos, wild stories, and not a single verified sighting. They stand there, smiling, shaking hands, telling you how much they care about other people. You know who the people are, right? That's you and me. The ones they screw over between campaign ads. They say, we're here to serve the public. Yeah, like a butcher serves a cow, slice by slice. Slice. You want honesty in politics? That's the first joke of the campaign season. The moment they take that oath, they should say, I solemnly swear to tell half-truths, hide facts, and confuse the hell out of everyone. At least then that would be honest. And don't forget the press conferences. Oh, those are great. A room full of reporters pretending to ask questions, and politicians pretending to answer them. The senator, what about the missing funds? Oh, we're still investigating that. Translation, we're still figuring out who to blame. You see, political honesty doesn't exist because it can't. Honesty doesn't win elections. Illusion does. Smiles, slogans, and sound bites. That's what the system rewards. The truth, it's too messy, too ugly, and way too unprofitable. The real motto of every politician should be, lie early, deny later, and retire rich. That's the American dream, for them. For the rest of us, it's just another rerun of the same bad show with new actors reading the same old script. So when they talk about honesty, remember, they're talking about something they used to believe in before they got elected. Did you ever notice how politicians talk about honesty like they invented it, but can't remember where they left it? Every election cycle, they dust off the same word. Honesty, polish it up and wave it around like a magic wand. But you and I both know it's a trick wand. One that shoots smoke and mirrors instead of truth. Political honesty doesn't exist in the real world. It's a fairy tale told to grown-ups who should know better. Every time you hear a politician say to be honest, you know what that means. It means the next thing out of their mouth is a certified lie. It's a reflex, scratching an itch. Only their itch is for power, and lying is how they scratch it. The funny thing is, people still want to believe. They sit there year after year, nodding their heads, pretending this time it's going to be different. This time we've got someone honest. Someone who tells it like it is. Yeah, sure, they tell it like it isn't. And somehow that works. Because in politics, honesty isn't a virtue. It's a liability. You tell too much truth, you scare people. You tell too little, you win elections. The trick is balance. Lie enough to keep the donors happy and smile enough to keep the voters asleep. Political honesty is treated like a museum piece. You can admire it, but you can't touch it. Every speech, every debate, every so-called press conference is a performance. These people are actors, and honesty doesn't test well with audiences. You ever watch them answer a question? And it's like watching someone dance around a landmine. The reporter asks, Senator, did you know about the corruption? And he says, we're looking into that very serious. That's not an answer. That's a noise meant to sound like one. They don't speak English, they speak politician. It's a language built entirely out of loopholes and euphemism. And the system itself, it's allergic to honesty. You can't survive in it if you tell the truth. The whole thing runs on money marketing and manipulation. You tell people the truth, that their government works for corporations, that their votes are just decorations on a rig machine, and they'll call you cynical. But if you smile, wave a flag, and say, we're bringing change, they'll hand you the keys to the kingdom. That's the joke. The entire game depends on the lie. It's not that politicians don't tell the truth, it's that they can't afford to. And don't forget the campaign ads. Oh, those are masterpieces of dishonesty. Every ad starts the same way. Soft music, smiling families, waving flags. He cares about people like you. Really, he doesn't even know people like you exist. The only people he cares about are the ones who can write a check with more zeros than your annual salary. And yet, we fall for it every single time because we want to believe the story. The myth of the honest leader, the hero in the suit who will finally clean things up. But the truth is, the system doesn't produce heroes, it produces salesmen. And honesty doesn't sell. It's almost poetic how they've turned lying into an art form. They can tell you everything and nothing at the same time. They'll say mistakes were made. By who? No one knows. The situation is under review, which means it's being buried in paperwork. We're working for the American people. Which people? The ones with the lobbyists, that's who. You ask them a straight question, they give you a spiral staircase. And somehow they walk away applauded for it. Political honesty isn't rare because people don't want it. It's rare because the system punishes it. The moment a politician tells the truth, their own party turns on them, the media crucifies them, and the donors close their wallets. So what do? They smile, they lie, and they pretend it's leadership. And the people, bless their hopeful hearts, clap for it like it's bravery. That's the tragic comedy of democracy. Everyone says they want honesty, but no one can handle it when it shows up. The system doesn't reward truth-tellers. It rewards performers. In politics, deception isn't a bug, it's a feature. The whole game is built around who can sell the best illusion, not who can tell the hardest truth. Elections aren't about ideas anymore. They're about marketing strategies, image consultants, and who's got the best slogan cooked up in a corporate think tank. The truth doesn't win votes, it just complicates the script. And politicians don't like complications, they like applause. Look at how campaigns are designed. Every detail is tested, rehearsed, and focus grouped. They spend millions figuring out what color tie makes you trust them more. They rehearse empathy like it's a Broadway show. Make sure you look concerned when you talk about poverty. Don't smile when mentioning war. We'll pause here for emotional effect. None of it's real. It's theater for the cameras, a big commercial selling the illusion of honesty. And the audience, the voters, eat it up because it's well produced. The production value of modern politics is better than any movie, except the plot never changes. And when you think about it, lying is the only logical strategy in a system like this. Tell people the truth, that their jobs are gone because billionaires ship them overseas, that their healthcare system is broken because corporations profit from their sickness, that the government is owned by donors, and you'll be branded a radical, a dreamer, or unelectable. But if you smile, shake hands, and say, "We're fighting for families," you'll be showered in campaign contributions. The incentives are clear. Deception gets you votes. Honesty gets you unemployment. The people funding these campaigns don't want truth. They want protection. They want politicians who will pretend to care while quietly doing what they're told. That's why the same corporations fund both sides of the aisle. It's not about ideology. It's about insurance. No matter who wins, they win. And the politicians? They get to act like heroes while cashing checks from the same companies they claim to regulate. It's a game of make-believe played with real consequences for everyone else. Even the debates. Those sacred democratic rituals are nothing but rehearsed performances. Candidates don't debate ideas, they trade sound bites. The goal isn't to inform, it's to impress. They practice a zinger for weeks, hoping to land a quote that trends for 24 hours. Truth doesn't trend, lies do. The best liar is the one who looks the most sincere while saying absolutely nothing. And the crowd cheers like it means something. The system doesn't punish deception. It thrives on it. A good liar gets media coverage, donations, and book deals. A bad liar, one who slips and tells a bit too much truth, gets buried. That's why political honesty never stands a chance. The whole machinery of politics, from consultants to networks to donors, depends on keeping the illusion alive. The illusion that someone out there somewhere is telling the truth for once, but the truth doesn't fit in a campaign ad, it doesn't sell. It offends, it exposes, and that's why it never makes it past the editing room. Society doesn't just tolerate the lie, it depends on it. People say they want honesty from their leaders, but what they really want is comfort. The truth is messy, complicated, and full of blame, and nobody wants to face their own reflection in the political mirror. It's easier to believe the bedtime stories politicians tell. We're the greatest nation on earth. How this system works. Your voice matters. These are lullabies for adults designed to help people sleep through their own exploitation. The illusion of honesty feels better than the reality of corruption. That's why the lie survives, because deep down, most people prefer it that way. Every few years, the same ritual plays out. People line up, wave flags, and convince themselves that this time it's going to be different. They listen to speeches written by ghostwriters filled with promises that sound familiar because they're recycled from the last 5 campaigns. And people clap, cheer, and cry like it's a religious revival. It's not politics. It's performance art for a population desperate to believe in something. Honesty doesn't stand a chance in a crowd that wants to be entertained. Politicians lie because they know their audience can't handle the unfiltered truth. It's not just the supply that's corrupted, it's the demand. You tell the public that the economy's rigged, that the education system keeps them obedient instead of informed, that their vote means less than $1 in a lobbyist's hand, and they'll call you negative. They'll say you're cynical, anti-American, or a part of the problem. Because the truth doesn't inspire, it depresses. And nobody wants to feel depressed, so people choose the prettier lie. They want leaders who smile, who make them feel hopeful, who promise change without ever explaining how. Hope is the drug, honesty is the withdrawal. And society would rather stay high. It's not just the politicians who sell the lie, it's the media, the schools, the culture. They all play their part in keeping the illusion alive. News anchors nod solemnly while repeating whatever script they're handed, pretending it's journalism. Schools teach kids how to follow rules, not question them. And movies keep telling us that one good man can fix everything, as long as he believes hard enough. The whole system trains people to accept illusion over truth. It's not just propaganda, it's conditioning. By the time you're old enough to vote, you've already learned the golden rule. Don't ask too many questions. So when political honesty disappears, nobody even notices. People shrug, change the channel, and say, that's just how it is. No, they treat corruption like the weather. Something that happens to them, not something they can change. And that's the final joke. The people hold the power to demand honesty, but they've been convinced it's impossible. They've traded truth for comfort, freedom for security, awareness for distraction. And as long as the lie keeps them comfortable, they'll never ask who's really benefiting from it, because somewhere deep down they already know. So in the end, political honesty isn't just rare. It's extinct to fossil buried under decades of slogans, campaigns, and carefully crafted smiles. The whole machine runs on make-believe, powered by the people who keep pretending not to see it. Politicians lie because lying works, and society lets it work because truth hurts. Everyone plays their part. The leaders, the media, the voters, each feeding the illusion that somewhere, somehow, there's still an honest man in a suit waiting to save the day. But honesty doesn't get airtime. It doesn't raise money. It doesn't win elections. It just sits quietly in the corner, ignored while the circus goes on. Maybe the biggest joke of all is that we already know the truth. We just prefer not to admit it. Because in the great political theater, honesty isn't the star of the show. It's the punchline.